Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and welcome back to something that I've been wanting to do for a long time now. 3 months, and it's finally here. My review of episode 13 of MyStreet, When Angels Fall. Now, when I point out it's been 3 months, I'm just saying this, for the sake of people waiting for me, because obviously everyone knows already that's because of animation issues and with the team being coordinating together and all the projects that have been working in the foreground versus MyStreet in the background, it makes sense why this hasn't been released sooner. I just find it incredibly misfortunate that we had the first 3 episodes in the first day of this season versus the longer waiting time for now. I feel like that was one of the first decisions that really hindered the progress, I would say. But that we don't need to worry about that, because the point is that the episode is here, and by the looks of the first frame, because obviously you can't pause before the first frame, it's already in animation format, so who knows, maybe we are going to get that 100% animation thing, although most likely not, but I don't know. Just a curiosity. It's 29 minutes long. I know that my last review of this series was 53 minutes long. I'm going to try and not talk too much, so let's begin.
Oh no.
Lucinda, run!
Oh, that's interesting. So I was about to say that it's the same animation as the previous episode, but not quite. Now we get to see that Aphmau is in fact the one who jumps in front of Lucinda. I was going to say, because if Lucinda gets knocked out, then the whole operation is going to go pear-shaped, because she's the only one who can exercise the Demon Warlock. So I guess Aphmau already knew that. I wish he jumped a bit high though, so it would have hit the chest plate, but I guess actually, punching someone in the wound of the death ray might be slightly worse. I do wonder how that healing process is going to work, because she's probably bleeding internally still to this very moment. Oh, she has some sort of scouter on. Okay. Wait, does that mean that the Demon Warlock can't see through her eyes? Because I thought that was... you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of Nova and Battle Angel Alita, now that that's come out. Oh, dearie me, that movie has changed my perspective of things. And she's now paralyzed. Again, if we work on normal human anatomy, those two have got probably broken bones or who knows what else. Oh, nice. We never see Lucinda really using attacking spells that often. I mean, we saw her freeze Gareth in Season 4, but that was mostly it. Now she's on the offensive. And I guess we're finally going to get the Lucinda versus Caitlyn showdown that we've been expecting since Season 1. Okay, that's an exaggeration. But whatever. It's notable that these two rivals are now finally going to square off. Or not! Okay then. Way to get my expectations too high. I talk too much, that's my problem. Yes, that's right. Punched the only armored area in her entire body. Way to have battle strategy. See, if this was a normal Caitlyn, she'd be perceptive enough to land her punches properly. We know how she used to treat Travis. And we know that Caitlyn has a severe case of the punchies. Michael, you are not using your soldiers effectively. I mean, Demon Warlock, whatever.
Try to find a way inside!
Sorry.
Yeah, that was a really bad idea. I don't know what you were expecting to happen there. I mean, at least move positions or something so that she's in the same shot as you. Because Aphmau was in the way for that. Anyway.
There's no way in!
Okay, hang on a second. If there's no way in, how did Caitlyn get out? Okay, if we go back to episode 12, this is going to be an editing thing. If I go back to the episode 12 clip, will I then see that there's a way that Caitlyn was exited, or that she was already there? I don't know. Either way, maybe they could do like in Mario Brothers, where they forced Caitlyn to actually punch a hole into the ship. Or perhaps that's what she's just about to do. Again, I talk too much. And there it is. If I waited one more frame, I would have seen that. I'm an idiot. Interesting variation of the freezing spell. I know she was under Ian's control before, when she froze Gareth in Season 4, but I thought, the consistency of the spell, unless they're trying to exercise Caitlyn now, I don't see why they haven't done the full body one. Because that would happen.
Hold her! I'm trying!
Although that visual is pretty spectacular, so I guess I know why they've changed it now, so they can show if they can do that effect. I think that's a new texture that Jason put into the game, if I remember from the live stream. I don't know.
Nana, are you alright?
I do wonder why they didn't show that, them jumping in. I would have thought that Zane would have, probably carried her down or something. Because, seriously, or even asked Athmal to catch her or Lucinda to lower her down. Because she's in a worse condition than any of them. So, yeah, I'm really lost for this one.
We don't have much.
I take that back. Maybe Athmal's in the worst condition. Again, bleeding internally. I don't know how they're going to treat that.
I'm fine. I just got thrown around a little, that's all.
That's an understatement.
You can't push yourself too much.
I'll be fine.
Keep pressure on it. You know that.
Yeah. You'll be okay.
How long is that ice going to hold Caitlyn?
For a while, hopefully. The duration of an entrapment spell is usually determined by the strength of the person behind held.
Which means that Caitlyn's going to be free in the next 5 seconds. Run!
I haven't used that spell since...
Again, not the same spell because he wasn't suspended in ice, he was just frozen physically. I love how I'm bringing up all the things in this episode before they happen.
If Caitlyn is like this, then Gareth...
Zane, we know how it feels. How it felt. Not being able to do anything. Being trapped in your own mind. They're still in there. They can hear us.
We know the pain all too well. Even so, seeing Caitlyn like that just tears me apart.
Trust me, it's even worse face to face with her. But the Caitlyn we know and love is still in there somewhere.
There has to be a way to revert them back to their normal selves.
I have no recollection. He only searched for ways to make the potions stronger, not ways to weaken them.
Even then, if that was the case, that doesn't mean anything. Because it's a different thing to have the potion have this strengthened effect versus the control aspect. Reversing one and reversing the other don't have to go together. They can be mutually exclusive.
Terry... how was he trying to strengthen them?
I don't recall completely, but why would you... From what I remember, he continually searched for lesser ingredients that would eliminate weaker emotions within the host.
Weaker emotions? Wait. Hang on. Hang on a second. No. Alright. So for as far as I've seen from the traits that these potions give people, even going back as far as Falcon Claw University, when we see Gareth punching, I believe it was Xavier? No, it wasn't Xavier, it was one of the background characters from the I'll Let You Have Seconds episode. We saw him punch that guy all the way across the campus. That was, I guess, fueled by a strong emotion of anger. Yes, that's a good example. But then, what about the breaking of doors? I mean, there's examples like the famous Dante You're Dead scene, where I guess he was kind of angry, but there's other situations where he just bursts in normally. And so clearly the strength is imbued into him. And Gareth has experienced there's the weaker emotions before. I mean, he's cried, he's had joy, he's had experiences of love. He's had his moments of vulnerability. He's gone through the whole roster, and Caitlyn is very much the same. One of my favorite moments from season 2 is the final conversation between Caitlyn and Travis, the one they have on the boat. That's a vulnerable moment. If Caitlyn had those vulnerable emotions eliminated, sorry, Discord call. Like I was saying, if Caitlyn had those vulnerable emotions eliminated, then she would never have had that conversation. That would never have happened to begin with. So that doesn't make any sense.
And what do you mean by weaker emotions?
Emotions that he didn't want them to feel.
Like love.
Which they've both felt. Again, going back to the same thing. I guess this is one way of, getting them back, bringing them back from themselves. And I really hope this culminates in a moment where Travis and Caitlyn finally have that love moment we was anticipating so much. I can only dream. But that's a good way to bring them back. But still, from the standpoint from before, if it was imbued into them, it doesn't make sense. If that aspect of suppressing emotions only manifests under control, I can see why that would be the case. But again, I'm coming to that conclusion based on everything that I know as an audience member, so I don't know how they're going to figure that out.
We need to start searching. We need to find Aaron. We can figure out what to do about Caitlyn and Garth after we find him.
I wouldn't know where to begin. This place is massive. This is nothing like... There's this strange energy resonating from everywhere. It's making it impossible to sense where people are.
At the very least, we know we need to head towards the center. Emmeline, hurry! We don't have much time!
No.
He's going to use it on Alina! Where do we need to go and how do we turn it off?
No.
I don't know! Emmeline, please, we need to find her. I can't lose her too. Please, Emmeline! Emmeline! Ghost?
No. 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 Why? Oh my word, why? Okay. To those who might not be aware of why I'm reacting to this way, and you haven't seen my video, Who Was Ghost in Times Before, you might be, slightly, confused at my sudden burst of, negative emotion. For you see... my goodness. For you see, the theory of Ghost being Emmeline from Minecraft Diaries had been circulating for a long time. for even a few months before I made that theory. And I talk about another theory that I talk about a video made by someone called Novalink explaining that idea and the certain reasons that it didn't work as an explanation. So the reasons were that Emmeline has a corporeal fragment in that world, and again, corporeal fragments aren't exactly the same person. Sometimes they preserve their memory, sometimes they don't, depending on what happens, with the whole thing with Codex Ross, whatever. But if she has a soul there already, then, I don't know, maybe Irene would not have actually, made a corporeal fragment. And again, I didn't know about corporeal fragments at the time, I hadn't made that connection yet. But the thing is that, with Ghost being in love with Zane, people made they made the assumption that because of everything being so confusing and having everything from so long ago be muddled up in her mind, and yes, she has amnesia, that makes sense, that she would not remember that it was Kenma who she was in love with versus Zane. That was an incredible stretch to me, or so I thought. So now you see why seeing this here and seeing Emmeline as the answer, you can see why that's, producing the response that it has. I might make a whole video on this separately. I don't know. I don't even care that it's not Zoe. That was just me thinking of a character that hadn't appeared yet, had no corporeal fragment to speak of, and might have been connected, and had some connection to immortality, to a certain extent. But to see Emmeline, even though she was a character that hadn't been used in a long time, suddenly appear again here, I don't know. I guess we've seen Aphmau and Irene, and they're the counterparts from Minecraft Diaries. I guess that kind of makes sense, but at the same time, I don't know how to feel about that yet. Again, it's not my decision to make. I'm not saying it should be, by any stretch. I'm just wondering, how much sense that would make, given what we've known about MyStreet, and what that's going to mean from now on. It's not really much about being proven wrong. But even so, I don't know. As a theorist, I don't know how to react to this, or even how to review it.
Last time I was here, I was in that room. They took him to the room at the bottom of the cannon. The one with the giant crystal.
They don't know what the giant crystal is, so you're speaking nonsense to them at the moment. Terry might know, but that's beside the point. How did you get that from that flashback there? That was clearly used to reveal the whole Emmeline theory being correct. But the side point is that, again, we didn't see that Emmeline had any knowledge of that happening. There's so much in this. There's so much that I'm just unsure about right now. I'm going to get so many comments as well on that ghost theory, because it's my second most viewed video of all time. And people are going to be going back saying, oh yeah, you were wrong, ha ha ha. I don't care. I don't care that I was wrong. I care about what makes sense, or what will make sense from now on. I don't know.
Alright, let's think about this. If she knows where Erin is, then you should head there as soon as possible. Ghost, can you take her?
Yeah, I can do that.
I'm going too. I remember a room with a giant crystal. Maybe I can help.
Lucinda, I think I have an idea. Mind staying here to help with Caitlin? We'll need to keep that spell on her.
Was already a thought in my mind. Let's see how strong little Miss Sugarpea actually is.